Hello, John. It's so nice to meet you. My name's Sabrina. I'm the foster care caseworker you will be working with. Thank you for joining me today. Did you have any trouble logging into our meeting?
Hello, Sabrina. It's nice to meet you as well. I'm excited to get this process started. No problems logging in at all. Since COVID, I've had become pretty good, pretty a pro at this. I'm pretty comfortable working in these types of meetings.
That's great. I'm so glad to hear that. So, as I said, I'm a foster care caseworker. That means that I manage the cases of different children who are in our foster care agency. I also conduct interviews with new prospective families who are applying to become foster parents. The goal of this meeting is to educate you about the differences between foster care and adoption, to help explore your values, your expectations, and motivations, identify and highlight your strengths and limitations, determine if you have experienced any trauma in your life, provide you with the agency's philosophy and values regarding foster care and adoption, help you prepare for the challenges of adopting and caregiving, initiate the self-selection process for you, and develop a working relationship between you and the agency. I will first go over what all will need to be completed before the assessment can be finalized. We will end the session with a series of questions that I will need to ask you to complete the interview portion of the assessment. I would like to quickly add that this assessment process allows you, the applicant, to be simultaneously approved for both foster care and adoption. Does all that make sense and sound okay to you?
Yeah, that sounds great.
First, I want to start by quickly talking about confidentiality with you. Anything we talk about via Zoom or in person is 100% confidential. Anything that you disclose will be kept between me and our agency, you and our agency. I am not allowed to talk with anyone about the things that you tell me unless I have your permission. And even then, you must sign a consent form agreeing for me to do so. With that being said, there are a couple of exceptions to the rule. If anything that you disclose falls under the category of abuse, or you disclose that you want to harm yourself or someone else, then I have the legal obligation to report those things. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense. I understand that.
On top of this interview, in order to have a completed assessment, you will need to complete a list of documents and inspections. Those being the application for child placement, medical statements for foster care and adoption application, and all of the household members, 3 personal references from those who do not live with the applicant, 1 relative reference, a fire inspection report for homes and residential facilities, safety audit from a foster home, a financial statement for you, a national sex offender search result, BCI and FBI reports as outlined, completed water tests, and the child characteristic checklist. The child characteristic checklist is where you will fill out what type of children you would be willing to foster, such as gender, age of the child, race, development, and other characteristics. I know we've already gone over a lot of information right off the bat. Is all this still making sense, and are you doing okay?
Yeah, I'm following along. I understand everything. Thank you.
Okay, so moving forward, I will now start the interview portion. I will ask you a series of questions and we'll record your answers. Is that okay?
Yes.
Okay, let's get started. These questions are just for us to get to know you a little bit better, know how you decide to become a foster parent, and who your support systems will be during that time. Can you tell me a little bit about yourself?
Well, I'm a single man, 36-year-old. Feel like I'm very upbeat, high energy, and happy. I'm recently divorced. I've always wanted kids, but my partner was never very interested in those having any. Well, so since the divorce, I've been thinking more and more about it, and I think I'm ready to move forward and start my own family.
What are some of your hobbies and what do you like to do in your free time?
Well, I like to go on bike rides. I go for hikes. I like being outside is a major thing. Nature makes me happy. I also like to stay inside. I enjoy reading too as well. Spending time with my family and friends. Have always been really important to me. I have no children of my own yet, so I like to spend a lot of time with my nieces and nephews. And do fun things with them.
That's wonderful that you're so involved with your family and friends. Having a good support system is important when you are looking to start a family of your own. Tell me about your childhood. What was your family life like growing up?
I lived here my whole life, with my mom and dad and sister and brother. My parents, they were very involved, in things, like this, my school and, church and, things in the community. They were foster parents themselves. When we were growing up, they fostered babies all the time. They would stay for a short time period with my family, but once other families were approved to adopt them. My siblings and I got along well, growing up. I've been close. My parents were somewhat strict. They believed in giving spankings, as a punishment. We were never allowed to voice our feelings. My siblings and I, played a lot of sports growing up. We were also very close with our grandparents, aunts, uncles, and close with our cousins. We took many large family vacations, and would get together, often a lot of time.
You touched a little on your parents' discipline methods. What type of discipline methods are you planning on using, depending on the age group of the child that you're interested in?
Well, I've read a lot of articles about different ways it says discipline. I feel like gentle parenting seems to be very effective. Type. I'd be more considerate. About what the child would actually get disciplined for. I believe children have feelings just like adults do. So they're allowed to get mad and feel those frustrations or sad or excited or when they get upset. Those are natural things and emotions. You don't warrant them as punishment. So I think if I did need to discipline them, I think it would be things like timeout or taking away items for or losing privileges and those things like that.
What is your relationship with your parents like?
I talk to at least one, if not both, my parents. Almost every day. We're very close. I get them anytime I need them. I have any help or if I have a problem, I just call them to talk to them or go see them. They're very supportive of my decisions, and since we are foster parents of their own, they will help me throughout this process and this experience.
What do you do for work?
I'm a nurse at one of the local hospitals.
That's wonderful. What shift do you work and how many hours a week do you work?
I'm on 12-hour shifts, work 7 A to 7 P, and we're full time, so 3 days a week.
Do you work weekends and holidays?
Yes, I work every third weekend, usually one major and one minor holiday.
Why have you decided to pursue fostering or adoption at this time? What influences have others had on this decision?
Well, I started to pursue this process because I've always, wanted the children, but just never worked it out with my parenting. Now that we are no longer together, I don't want to put this part of my life on hold any longer. I'm financially stable. I'm in a good place in my life, and I'm just ready to share my life with a child of my own. At least give these children a good home until they were able to find a forever home of their own. So I think my parents and family are major influences in my life and helping me down this path. So they were once foster parents, and I think also were very supportive of me starting my own family as well.
Your life will be a lot different once you're placed with a child. Who will be your support person? Who will watch the children or the child while you are working on your weekends or your holidays, or pick them up from school or daycare when you work until 7 p.m.?
My family are very supportive. We'll be helping us. They'll be helping the process. My parents will likely be the biggest supporters of helping the most, and will often drop off pickups, babysitting, things like that. My sister and brother, they also offered help, when need be, as well. But my parents would be the biggest supporters of this process. The child will be well acquainted with all of them, and we will be spending a lot of time with them, even when I'm around.
What are things that you worry about parenting a child not born from you?
I wonder if they will accept me, maybe into their life, willing to accept me for, being a part of their life. I know that I will love this child, unconditionally as my own, but will they love me as their own, I worry if they will be able to help them through, work things out they struggle with as a child who has been adopted, I want to do anything, everything I can, but I will know what's the best way to help them. Do I talk to them about their birth family? Will I be doing enough? This could go on and on, but ultimately my biggest worry is that will I fail them when they need me the most?
You're doing a great job, John. We still have several more questions to go. Are you doing okay? Do you need a break?
I'm okay. I'm good. I'm ready. We can just keep going.
Great. Let's keep going then. When you dream about doing this, describe the child you hoped to parent.
I think I always have to see myself fostering and adopting a baby, so they are able to grow up with me, hopefully bond with me, right away. I think that's an important part, and hopefully I get to experience that. But I know a little of also comes from my parents only fostering babies, so I can also see myself with toddlers and older children as well. There are so many ways we can bond and have a lot of fun getting to know each other. I'm not particular about race or any gender or anything like that.
Have you worked towards a goal for a long time? If so, what was it? Did you continue or did you give up, and why?
I think one of my major accomplishments, is probably getting my nursing degree, which wasn't easy for me. I had to study a lot. Sometimes I would still get, only C on tests. I was rejected twice, when I applied to get into nursing school, but, the third time was a charm. I obviously was successful when I graduated because I said I am a nurse now, but it was very hard and a long road for me to accomplish that. I knew that I always wanted to be a nurse, help people, and wanted to give back to my community.
In the last 5 years, what changes have you experienced personally or as a family? How did you navigate through them? What strategies were most helpful for you in general for self-care?
Recently gone through the divorce, and that was a major change, personally for me and my family. My partner, I was together for 20 years. We started dating at a very young age. They were a wonderful person, but as we grew older, we both changed and wanted different things in life. They were happy, it was just being us. They didn't want children, and that was just that just wasn't okay with me. We tried to work things out and decided that together, since we wanted just such different things, it would be better off just just friends. And I think that's the better way to go. So we'll still see each other when we hang out with friends, occasionally and talk. We have so far been able to remain friends, during this time. But during the time we have actively growing through the divorce, I spent a lot of time with my family, and just thinking. But this was also when I found my love for biking and other things that I like to do. I would bike or go for a hike or which worked wonders for me.
That completes the interview portion of our assessment. You did a fantastic job, John. How do you feel?
That was intense. I tried to do myself, and answer, the way I really, really showed how I feel, my true personality. I hope I did well, and I really want this to happen. Sabrina.
I think you did really well. You should be pleased with yourself. Our time is coming to an end, though, and I would really like to go over what we discussed during our meeting. Is that okay?
Yeah, that's fine.
Wonderful. We did a very in-depth interview, which was part of the assessment that needed to be completed for you to become a foster parent and adoptive parent. By doing this assessment, you will be dual certified to be both foster and adoptive parents. The things that you need to make sure that you get completed are the application for child placement, medical statements for foster care and adoptive applications for the household members, 3 personal references from those who do not live with you, 1 relative reference, a fire inspection report for your home, safety audit from the foster home, a financial statement for you, national sex offender results, search results, BCI and FBI reports, as outlined, and completed water tests and the child characteristic checklist. Does that all make sense?
Yes, I'm already working toward completing several of those things.
Great. Well, it was great meeting you today, and I look forward to our meetings in the future. I will be in touch about anything that needs to be completed, or if anything, if you need anything further, or if I need anything further from you. I hope you have a great afternoon.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.